Imagine waking up one day to find that everything you believed was essential to your happiness was actually holding you back. What if I told you that the secret to a more fulfilling life isn't about adding more to it, but instead quietly removing the weights that drag you down? This isn't just a thought experiment, it's a reality for many who've discovered that less can indeed be more. Today, we're diving deep into the art of letting go, of cutting out the noise and clutter that cloud our minds and lives. We'll explore together, not just the act of removal, but the profound impact it has on our well-being, relationships, and journey toward a life that's truly our own. If you've ever felt overwhelmed, stuck, or just curious about what lies beyond the relentless pursuit of more, then you're in the right place. Stick with me, and let's uncover the unexpected freedom in choosing to let go. If you find this video helpful, please like and subscribe to support our channel. Let's dive in. 1. Embracing emotional resilience. When someone hurts us, our instinct might be to retaliate, to dive into a sea of explanations or seek some form of justice by making them understand the depth of their wrongdoing. But Stoicism invites us to question this impulse. It asks, is this within my control? If the answer is no, then it guides us to redirect our energy toward what we can indeed control: our thoughts, our emotions, and our subsequent actions. Imagine this. Someone has wronged you, and you feel that familiar churn of anger and hurt. In that moment, you have a choice. You could confront the person, armed with your grievances, or you could pause, take a breath, and ask yourself, will this bring me peace? Is this truly worth my energy? Stoicism teaches us that often, the answer is no. It doesn't mean that what was done to you was okay, but it means you choose not to let it dictate your emotional state. You choose tranquility over turmoil, growth over grudges. This isn't about passivity or the suppression of feelings. On the contrary, it's about active engagement with your inner world, acknowledging your emotions without letting them control you. It's recognizing that seeking explanations or confrontations rarely changes the past, but can significantly affect your present peace and future growth. By focusing on our own path forward, we embody the Stoic virtue of emotional resilience. This resilience isn't a cold detachment, but a warm embrace of our ability to navigate life's challenges with grace. It's understanding that our worth and peace are not tethered to the actions or opinions of others, but are found within our own reason and choices. So, when faced with hurt, we have an opportunity to practice Stoicism by asking ourselves, what is within my power? 2. Aligning goals with our true nature. We can't control others, but we can control our response, our mindset, and the direction we choose to move in. This shift in perspective doesn't just free us from unnecessary stress, it also aligns us with a life of purpose, where our energy is invested in what truly matters: our growth, our peace, and our journey toward becoming the best version of ourselves. In embracing Stoicism, we find strength in tranquility and power in rational action. We learn that the most profound victories are won not on the battlegrounds of external conflict, but within the quiet realms of our own minds. Letting go of unnecessary goals isn't about diminishing ambition or ceasing to strive for excellence. Far from it, it's about honing our ambition, sharpening it with the whetstone of wisdom, so that we chase not just any goal, but the right goals, the ones that truly matter to us. It's about aligning our pursuits with our deepest values and ensuring that our actions reflect the essence of who we truly are. This concept of living in accordance with nature is central to Stoicism. Nature, in this context, isn't just the physical world around us, but our inner nature, the core of our being. When we align our goals with this inner nature, we find a harmony that is both rare and deeply fulfilling. It's like fitting the last piece into a puzzle. Everything just clicks into place. Practicing discernment is key here. It requires us to pause, reflect, and ask ourselves tough questions. Is this goal truly mine, or is it one I've adopted from someone else? Does pursuing this make me more of who I am, or does it lead me away from my true self? These questions aren't always comfortable, but they're necessary for growth and authenticity. By focusing on what truly enriches our lives, we embrace the Stoic virtue of wisdom. This wisdom isn't just about knowledge for its own sake, it's about practical wisdom, or phronesis as the Greeks called it. It's the kind of wisdom that helps us navigate life, make better decisions, and ultimately live in a way that brings us closer to eudaimonia, or flourishing. Number 3. Navigating relationship endings. Embracing the Stoic virtue means making choices that aren't just good on the surface, but deeply good. Good for our souls, for our development, and for our peace of mind. It's about creating a life that's rich, not in material possessions or accolades, but in meaning, purpose, and joy. In essence, letting go of unnecessary goals allows us to make room for what truly matters. It's a process of clearing the clutter, both externally and internally, to reveal a path that leads us not just to success in the conventional sense, but to a deeper sense of satisfaction and fulfillment. It's a journey of coming home to ourselves, guided by the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. Stoicism, at its heart, teaches us about the importance of controlling our impulses. A lesson that couldn't be more relevant when faced with the emotional upheaval of a relationship's end. It's natural to want to vent, to seek solace in the empathy of friends, or even to lash out in pain. However, Stoicism invites us to take a step back and ask ourselves, will sharing these details bring peace, or will it only serve to prolong the pain and disrupt my inner tranquility? The philosophy encourages us to safeguard our inner peace, a sanctuary that can easily be disturbed by the tumult of external events and our reactions to them. This isn't to say that Stoicism advocates for bottling up our emotions or facing our struggles in isolation. Far from it. The philosophy recognizes the value of emotional expression and the healing that comes from acknowledging our feelings. However, it differentiates between constructive sharing that aids in healing and indiscriminate divulging that can lead to regret and further complications. It's about finding that delicate balance where we can honor our emotions and the lessons from the relationship without descending into gossip or unnecessary revelation. Moreover, Stoicism teaches us about the virtue of discretion, protecting not just our own dignity, but also that of others involved. In the aftermath of a relationship, it's easy to forget that there were shared moments of vulnerability and trust, which deserve to be treated with respect, even in separation. By choosing discretion, we practice respect and compassion, virtues highly regarded in Stoic thought. This approach to handling the end of relationships underscores another Stoic principle: the differentiation between what is within our control and what isn't. While we can't always control the actions of others or the outcome of situations, we can control our responses. In choosing dignity, discretion, and the protection of our inner peace, we align our actions with what's within our realm of control, thus embodying the Stoic ideal of focusing on our own actions and attitudes. Number 4. Transforming conflict with Stoic principles. Embracing this Stoic guidance doesn't just help us navigate the end of relationships more gracefully, it also aids in our own growth and development. It allows us to emerge from these painful experiences not with bitterness, but with wisdom. Not with resentment, but with a deeper understanding of ourselves and the values we hold dear. It teaches us that even in loss, there's an opportunity for growth and for practicing the virtues that enrich our character. Stoicism presents us with a transformative perspective. Instead of being swept away by the initial surge of anger or frustration that disagreements often provoke, we're encouraged to view these emotions through a lens of curiosity and control. It's a profound shift from reaction to action. Imagine the energy that surges through you in moments of conflict. Stoicism doesn't suggest we suppress this energy. Instead, it teaches us to redirect it, much like a river's course is redirected. This energy then becomes a resource, fueling endeavors that enrich and elevate us, be it personal projects, self-improvement, or simply the deepening of our understanding and patience. Consider the last time you found yourself in the throes of a disagreement. The instinctive reaction is often to push back with equal force, to let anger or frustration dictate our words and actions. But Stoicism invites us to pause and ask, what good will this do? It's in this pause, this breath between impulse and action, that we find our power, the power to choose. And with this choice comes the possibility of turning potentially destructive energy into something constructive and growth-oriented. This approach does not mean that we become passive or that our emotions are invalid. Far from it. Stoicism acknowledges the full spectrum of human emotions. It simply advocates for a deeper understanding of these emotions, encouraging us to question their origin, their purpose, and most importantly, how they can serve us in a positive way. By doing so, we maintain not just our composure, but our integrity. We stand firm, not as emotionless statues, but as individuals deeply in tune with the ebb and flow of our inner worlds, navigating through life's challenges with grace and wisdom. Moreover, this Stoic practice of redirecting emotional energy helps us to cultivate resilience and a sense of inner peace that is not easily disturbed by the actions or words of others. It's an invaluable tool in maintaining our emotional well-being and personal equilibrium in the face of life's inevitable challenges. In choosing to transform conflict into growth, we embody the essence of Stoicism. We take what could be a source of pain or anger and instead turn it into a stepping stone on the path to personal development and emotional mastery. 5. Turning rejection into rejection. It's something we all face, and yet it often feels deeply personal and even painful. But what if rejection wasn't the enemy we think it is? What if, instead of seeing it as a blow to our self-worth, we viewed it through the lens of Stoicism, as an opportunity for growth, reflection, and ultimately strength? In the Stoic tradition, there's a core belief that the external world and everything in it is beyond our control. The opinions of others, the outcomes of our efforts, the timing of events, all of these are external factors that we cannot dictate. What we can control, however, is our internal world, our reactions, our interpretations, and our choices. Rejection, when viewed in this light, becomes less of a personal affront and more of an external event. It is not a reflection of our intrinsic worth or ability, but simply a part of life's natural ebb and flow. This isn't to say that rejection doesn't sting. It absolutely can. But by reframing it as something that happens outside of us rather than to us, we begin to lessen its emotional impact. Imagine a scenario where you've poured your heart and soul into a project, only to have it rejected by others. The initial wave of disappointment is undeniable, but Stoicism teaches us to pause in that moment. Instead of immediately spiraling into self-doubt or frustration, we ask ourselves, is this within my control? If the answer is no, then we refocus our energy on what is, our response, our attitude, and the lessons we can take away from the experience. In this reframing, rejection becomes a teacher, not an adversary. It offers us valuable insights, perhaps about the areas where we can improve, or maybe even about the subjective nature of other people's opinions. Often, rejection has little to do with our abilities and more to do with timing, context, or simply the preferences of others. Recognizing this can help us to detach from the sting of rejection and instead focus on how we can grow from it. Furthermore, Stoicism encourages us to view rejection as a stepping stone rather than a setback. It's an opportunity to refine our approach, to build resilience, and to strengthen our resolve. Each rejection becomes a lesson, a moment of feedback that guides us toward a better version of ourselves and our work. By adopting this Stoic perspective, we not only protect ourselves from the emotional toll of rejection, but also open ourselves up to new possibilities and growth. We become more resilient, more adaptable, and ultimately more at peace with life's inevitable ups and downs. 6. Learning the art of letting go. Letting go is never easy, whether it's of a person, a dream, or even a long-held belief. But Stoicism teaches us that clinging to things beyond our control only causes unnecessary suffering. It encourages us to embrace impermanence and accept that change is a natural part of life. Imagine holding onto a rope that's fraying with each passing moment. The tighter you hold, the more your hands hurt, but letting go feels even scarier. Stoicism, however, invites us to loosen our grip, not out of weakness, but out of wisdom. By letting go, we create space for new possibilities, for growth, and for inner peace. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting or dismissing what was important to us. It simply means acknowledging that certain things have run their course and that clinging to them no longer serves our well-being. It's about trusting that by releasing what's no longer in our control, we're making room for what truly aligns with our values and purpose. This process of letting go is a form of liberation, a release from the weight of expectations, regrets, and attachments. It allows us to move forward with clarity and intention, rather than being held back by the past. In the end, the Stoic art of letting go isn't about loss, but about gain. It's about gaining freedom, gaining peace, and gaining the ability to focus on what truly matters. It's about living in harmony with the present moment and embracing life as it unfolds, rather than resisting it. Number 7, releasing the need for approval. One of the most liberating concepts in Stoicism is the understanding that we cannot control the thoughts or opinions of others. So often, we tie our self-worth to how we're perceived by others, constantly seeking validation and approval. But what if we could release that need entirely? Imagine how much freer you'd feel if you no longer needed others to validate your choices, actions, or beliefs. Stoicism teaches us that true freedom comes from within, from knowing who we are and what we stand for, regardless of external approval. This isn't about becoming indifferent to others, but about recognizing that their opinions do not define us. Letting go of the need for approval is one of the most empowering shifts we can make. It allows us to act from a place of authenticity and integrity, rather than constantly seeking affirmation from outside sources. By doing so, we align ourselves with the Stoic virtue of self-sufficiency, trusting that our internal compass is enough to guide us. 8. The power of forgiveness. Forgiveness is often seen as a gift we give to others, but in Stoicism it's also a gift we give to ourselves. When we hold on to grudges or refuse to forgive, we burden ourselves with negative emotions, anger, resentment, and bitterness. But by choosing to forgive, we free ourselves from these chains. Forgiveness, in the Stoic sense, is not about excusing harmful behavior or allowing injustice to go unchecked. Instead, it's about releasing the emotional hold that a past event or person has over us. It's about recognizing that holding on to anger only harms ourselves, and that by letting go, we reclaim our peace and power. Stoicism teaches us that forgiveness is not a weakness, but a strength. It takes courage to forgive, to let go of the desire for revenge or retribution. But in doing so, we practice the Stoic virtue of magnanimity, choosing to rise above the pettiness of revenge and instead act from a place of compassion and understanding. Conclusion. Embracing the Stoic path to happiness. Stoicism offers us a roadmap to a life of greater peace, purpose, and happiness. By focusing on what we can control, building inner resilience, practicing forgiveness, and letting go of the need for approval, we free ourselves from the emotional turbulence that often governs our lives. True happiness, according to the Stoics, comes not from external circumstances, but from living in alignment with our principles and values. It's about cultivating a calm, steady mind that remains unshaken by the ups and downs of life. As you continue your journey of self-discovery and growth, remember that Stoicism isn't about perfection. It's about progress, about continually striving to live a more virtuous and meaningful life. In embracing these timeless principles, we not only unlock the door to greater happiness, but also to a deeper sense of fulfillment and purpose.